everyone, and welcome to Fitness Tuesday, which is a part of our Let's Move in Libraries initiative. My name is Janet Wingard, and I am a children's librarian here at the Fulton County Library System. So this morning is going to be Yin Yoga Part 2. You might have seen our first Yin Yoga video premiere a couple weeks ago, and this week I'm going to show you 3 new postures. So while we're doing this, I'm going to show you how to get into the postures, how to adjust them, because everyone's bodies are a little bit different, so some of these might be harder for you than others, and then how to get out of the postures. Some of these are recommended to hold for about a minute to maybe even up to 5 minutes. I'm not going to give you the time to hold them while you're watching the video, but feel free to get into the postures once you know how to do it and hold them for longer. So let's go ahead and begin. The first posture I will be demonstrating for you today is called ankle stretch. This primarily targets the ankles with a secondary target area of the knees. Be careful if your knees or ankles hurt in this position. I will demonstrate how to adjust the position, or you can back out of the pose completely. Begin by sitting on your heels with your hands on the floor or on blocks beside of you. If this is too hard, you can sit with the blocks or cushions between your feet. If this is still too much, lean back onto your hands. If you need to lean back, be careful not to collapse backwards. Be sure to keep your heart forward. It may be helpful to imagine yourself doing a back bend. You can also put padding under the knees to make this position more accessible. If you need something more challenging, let's go back to the starting position. Sitting on your heels with your hands on the floor. From here, hold the knees and gently pull them upward. Once you have found the adjustments that work best for you, it is recommended to hold this pose for 1 to 3 minutes. Eventually, you may be able to sit like this for even longer, but if this posture is intense for you, then listen to what your ankles and knees are saying and don't push yourself too far. To come out of this position, lean forward. Bring your hands to the floor beside your knees and slowly step your feet backwards, one at a time, so that now you are in a push-up position. Then you can lie down on your stomach. Our next pose today is called cat pulling its tail. This posture primarily targets the quadriceps, or the front of the thighs. It also twists the spine, and it may also provide a mild extension of the hips and the lumbar or lower back. If you have issues with your lower back, be careful doing this pose. You may not be able to pull your foot. Start by sitting with your legs out in front of you. Twist to the right and recline onto your right elbow. Keep your bottom leg, in this case your right leg, straight, and bring your top or left leg forward and to the side. Bend your right bottom leg and bring your heel towards your backside. Reach back with your top left hand and grab your bottom right foot. Now that you have a grip on your foot, pull your right foot away from you. If you want more of a stretch, let's go back to the starting position. Begin by lying down and rolling onto your right side. From here, keep your bottom right leg straight and bring your top left leg forward. Bend your bottom right leg to bring your heel towards your backside. Now reach your top left hand and grab your bottom right foot. Then pull the foot away from you. From there, you can add on even further by looking over your shoulder. And for an even deeper stretch, you can reach with your bottom right arm and hold onto your top left leg or foot. When doing this posture, most people will not be able to pull their bottom foot too far, and that is okay. If your foot is not reachable, you can try using a strap to bridge the distance between your hand and your foot. Or you can also make this pose easier by putting a bolster or pillow under your top left leg. Now see if you can hold this for 1 minute. To come out of this pose, release the bottom foot and roll onto your stomach. Now straighten the bottom leg. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So now that we're back in the starting position, this time start by sitting with your legs out in front of you and twist to the left to recline onto your left elbow. Or, if you prefer, you can start by lying down and rolling onto your left side. Keep your bottom leg, in this case your left leg, straight. Bring your top right leg forward. Bend your left bottom leg and bring your heel towards your backside. Reach back with your top right hand and grab your bottom foot. Now that you have a grip on your foot, pull your left foot away from you. You can add on further by looking over your shoulder. For an even deeper position, reach with your bottom left arm and hold your top right leg or foot. Remember, it is okay to use props to help you get the most out of a position. Use a strap to reach your foot, or put a bolster or pillow under your right leg to support it. If you held this position for 1 minute on the other side, see if you can do the same thing again on this side. Now to come out of this, release the bottom foot, roll onto your stomach, and then straighten the bottom leg. The final posture that I will demonstrate for you today is called saddle. This posture primarily targets the spine and the sacroiliac joints. Secondary target areas of this posture include the ankles, knees, hip flexors, lower belly, and shoulders. If you have a bad back or tight SI joints, do not do this posture. Start by sitting on your heels and see how this feels. Sitting directly on your heels will emphasize the lumbar extension, or you can sit in between your heels, which will work the quads and hip flexors. If your knees hurt, sit higher up by placing a cushion under you, or just skip this pose. If your ankles are uncomfortable, you can put a blanket under them. Once you are adjusted, lean back onto your hands, creating a small arch in your lower back. Check in with yourself and see how this feels. It's okay to stop here. A lot of people do. If you feel comfortable going further, then you can come down to your elbows. If this is where you need to stop, you can rest on a bolster while your elbows are on the floor so that you can relax into this posture. If this is still easy for you, you can lie all the way down onto the floor. Once you are here, you can open the shoulders by raising your arms overhead. If your arms start to tingle, rest them on your forehead or lower them back to your sides. Come out of the pose the opposite way that you went into it. If you are on the floor, first prop yourself up onto your elbows and then onto your hands, and then finally bring yourself forward onto your belly and straighten your legs slowly to allow your knees to release. For a lot of people, it is better to do this posture one leg at a time. This is called half saddle. There are many versions of half saddle. For today, you can straighten one leg while keeping the other knee bent, and then see how far backwards you can go. First, bend your left knee and straighten your right leg. Now lean back onto your hands. Then, if you can, go down to your elbows, and maybe you can go all the way down to the floor. Now, reverse out of it the same way you went into it. It's important to balance your sides, so let's switch legs. This time, your right knee should be bent and your left leg should be straight. Now lean back onto your hands, then onto your elbows, and maybe all the way down to the floor. Let's reverse out of this one last time. Be sure to come forward and release your knees. Thanks for joining me today for our second installment of Yin Yoga. It was great having you here. I hope you were able to find a posture and a variation that worked best for you. Thanks again for coming to Fitness Tuesday with our Let's Move in Library initiative, and be sure to keep an eye on Fulton County Library's Facebook page for all of our great upcoming programs. Thanks so much, and goodbye.